Come in.
Shall I take my shoes off?
Yeah, you're alright.
You sure?
Yeah, fine. I'm recording this visit.
I've never recorded a visit in my life. It's so offensive.
Well, I'm sorry, but that's how people have made me feel. She's going to be mad, Jim, but she's so friendly. I'm going to put her in. Yeah, I'm going to put her in a cage.
Hello, hello, hello.
I'm sorry, but no, I'm taping everything.
Okay, tell me.
Right.
There's nothing. I was going to say, I'm trying to make you take it.
Come here. Come on in, sit down.
Oh, it's a very quick visit. It's a very quick visit, by the way.
Okay. Right,
you changed your decor since I was last week.
My what?
You moved it around.
Yes, it's great.
It's very nice.
Space. Right, no, calm down. Yes, but not everyone. Hey, she's 7 months. She's mental. I love you. You are in your job. Go on, there you go. Yes. You don't get them for treats anymore. You get them for blooming. What do you call it? Emotional manipulation.
Very good at that.
Come on then, who's contacted you?
I'll give you
Don't tell me, you can't tell me, because
shall I tell you then?
Third party. Oh, you can tell me. Go on then.
No, what I was going to tell you, what I'll tell you now, it's very quick, and nothing's going to happen with this at all. Yeah?
Oh, good.
But I think it's fair if somebody phones in to tell you, and not just, okay, we've got that, we're not going to tell Karen anything, yeah?
Right.
Okay, so this isn't anything, as far as we're concerned, that requires any action on our part.
Good.
So I'm just informing you, yeah. So received an anonymous call on the 13th of June, saying that on YouTube, Morgan James is singing, I think something like "You've Had Us" or something, pardon the language, and it says here, mother can be heard in the background, appearing to encourage the behaviour and laughing. Video named MJ singing "You've Had Us." From our point of view, yeah, that is not enough to be phoning social services with. Yeah, we would be inundated if we had that kind of thing. Yeah. What I would say to you though, however, and I can chat this in, you can tell me to go and take a running jump. Yeah, is that may be a little inappropriate to have Morgan James singing that on YouTube. And the other thing is there any support or help you need, which I would have thought.
Jim, do you know what? I'm absolutely sick and tired of being sick and tired. I went to the council yesterday.
Oh yeah.
Now I've been recording every single contact that I've had, whether it be in person, people coming out to my house, or whether it be over the phone.
Yeah.
And I got to the council yesterday in the hope that I could speak to somebody there and then regarding all these issues in one basket. And the woman was abrupt with me and says, "Well, I'm not being recorded. No, I'm not being." And she
don't like being recorded. Normally, if somebody says to me, "Can I record you?" I'll just say no. The interview doesn't take place here. But I thought I better. The reason I've come over particularly is because I kind of thought you're otherwise going to be thinking, oh, there's something that children's services have got that so important or something. So I may as well put your mind at ease. Right. It's just simply selecting over referral, and that's it.
Right. Here's the thing, Jim. Right.
Yeah.
Now that goes back to when? June the what?
It's June the 13th.
Right. This was someone called Samantha Wilkinson, wasn't it, or Stephanie Waite?
Yeah. Obviously, it was anonymous. So.
Right. This person has also contacted the school. Has been in contact with my college previously, has been in touch with my older children, because my children actually believe me to be this person. Yeah. My neighbours seem to think it's me. Please do, because this person has basically built up some sort of case.
And who do you think the person is?
Well, in all fairness, it can be anyone. But the fact that they're using a Facebook account that's completely slandering me, at times have been very friendly towards me, seems to believe that they've been kind of praising me and enabling me, in effect, to have a two-way argument to prove my own case, if that makes sense.
The only thing I'd say to that is that if somebody, well, a couple of things really, if somebody is misusing Facebook, yeah, and is causing you any harassment, yeah, that could be a police matter.
But I've been in touch with the police, and the police have said that they will contact this person.
Yeah.
This was only about a week ago. They would contact the person, don't contact them back, and then if they contact you 2 or more times after that, then you can take it further for harassment. But there's not likely anything they'd do about it. Now, the policewoman Holly left here, and she says she will be going back and making that email today, as in that day, to this person to contact them and say, do not contact Carol Martin again. Now, she didn't do that, but that night I had a hell of a lot of this person trying to contact me on numerous accounts on Facebook, trying to get into my group that I've got on Facebook, which is open and public, and I have started putting recordings on there, because I'm serious, Jim. How my children consider me to be, how neighbours consider me to be, is all wrong. Now, I only had a couple of days. Now that she hadn't made that call event in the end, because I phoned back the next day and says, right, I want to do this person now for harassment. You've told me that's what I can do. That's what I want to do. And I got the call back to say actually she had been called off to a different job and she hadn't got round to do it. And I says, well, you've just ruined my opportunity then of being able to take that further with harassment, because you haven't done that part of your job that you said you would do. Oh yeah, but I got called off and I got this, that and the other. And I think it was the sergeant I spoke to who says, look, we can argue, we can sit and talk about it all day. But the thing is, she left yours and she was called on to other jobs. And I says, well, the thing is then, what she's done is come out and found time for this job, my job, and she hasn't completed it. She's left it and she's gone on to something else. Now, if she's had time to enter into a job, she should have time to finish that job. And with her not raising that email to this other person, she has in effect blocked me from being able to take this case up further for harassment. So they've took that opportunity away from me. And, you know, I'm sick of them passing the buck. Literally, a few days ago, I had the neighbour going absolutely ballistic at me, Jim, in front of the whole street. Now, I know that the whole of bloody Somerset knows what sort of bloody, you know, crap goes on in my life with police and Christ knows what, malicious, you know, and whatever. Now, to be complete...
She's on good fun.
She's had a tune now, but she's calmed down. She just wants to say hi. But this woman next door completely obliterated me in the street. Dottie, no, get down.
Get down.
Down.
She's alright, really.
I know.
Really, she's not biting. It's when dogs bite.
She will be, yeah, she will. She'll grab hold of your hand, but she'll be really gentle.
She hasn't put teeth into
She will be really gentle because it's, like that. She's just like, I love you, I love you.
I've got a friend of mine who's got a puppy here, and the puppy sinks his teeth in and says, oh, I've just been a friend. I'm like, no, you can't. No, she's just so loving. Yeah. Yeah. It wasn't at 2 o'clock in the bloody morning. Why she had a little sod got out the gate. I couldn't sleep last night with going to the council and that, and she got out. A little sod. I've discovered the only way I can get her to bloody catch her isn't chasing her, but he's running away, and she'll chase me, and I caught her. You little sod. But I can't sleep, Jim, do you know? Both mine and Morgan James's sleep routine is all over the place. He heard the majority of what was said from that neighbour, which is absolutely disgusting. She really did go hell and leather at me. The police came out and thought they'd came out because I was complaining about not having green bins. That wasn't the case at all. I says to her, I'm telling you now, if that person speaks to me ever like that again, or speaks about my son like that again, I won't be responsible for my actions. So it's up to you to go and sort this out, because I do want to take this further. That was in front of the whole street. I was going to say, what I'd normally do is phone Alliance.
Alliance?
So,
no, it's Sony.
I beg your pardon, phone Nice and say there are problem with neighbours.
Yeah.
So ditto. It's the same thing in a way. If somebody's bothering you on Facebook, I think, I'm not on Facebook myself here, but I think, is there a sort of somebody you can get through to say that you they're causing problems.
I've been in touch with them. The thing is, the police need.
You're good at following all this stuff up.
But I'm not. That's the thing, because
you can't necessarily get necessarily get the response you want, but you are good at following stuff up. You have to concede that. Yeah, you are good.
When I put my mind to it, but when my mind's full with stuff like this, Jim, I've got to go to court next week, which is about a parking fine. If my disability was, which I've had validated now, but if my disability was entitled, allowed me to be entitled, I'd have a blue badge. I wouldn't need to park outside university in the parking spaces.
Refresh my memory, because it's a little while. What is your disability?
I've been validated now as having lifelong complex trauma.
Oh yeah, no, yeah, I remember the whole story now. I remember you gave me a very good account.
Otherwise known as autism, severe end. Otherwise known as being screwed over by the system, and I mean every single area of it. And you know, from way back, I told you when I showed you that poem. You know, this goes way back, Jim, to a fabricated case made against me when I tried to get support, and it's snowballed out of control since. Now, the fact that I know my own mind now, as well as I know my own mind.
You've got a blue badge and stuff, have you?
No, because they won't. No, I'm on ESA, the support group. They put me on that for a year, but they refused me PIP. Now, the reason they refused me PIP was because I was able to go in there and pretty much tell them what was wrong with me. But the fact that I've worked 6 years to self-analyse
that's it.
It still keeps me stuck. It still keeps me in a house that's a mess. It's still.
I'm going to correct you here. Your house. I've been to your house about 3. Sorry, I'm sorry. I'm not having that. I've been to your house. Immaculate.
No, it's not.
It's the nicest. It's beautifully decorated, beautifully clean. Everything is perfectly organised, tastefully arranged. Yeah. You're just not. You are not saying you're. I'm telling you, it's
I'm telling you, Jim. No, you bloody come with me. No, you're going to come and have a walk around my house with me, because I'm easy.
This room is perfect. This was lovely.
No, the fish have needed cleaning for bloody ages. Look at them, their poor things need. They're going to die.
Carrie, you're too hard on yourself.
I'm not hard on myself. This is how I live, Jim. Everything's a mess. I don't get to it. I can't get to anything. I can't organise anything. You know.
You are very hard on yourself, Karen.
All of them cans, by the way, aren't mine. I had a friend around. But the friend came round on Sunday night. They're still there. There's washing piled up upstairs. It's an issue. I can't keep on top of things because I am constantly trying to find.
Looking after little boy and stuff,
Oh God, you're too bloody kind. You really are.
No, seriously.
No, there's an issue here, and you need to know that I'm Right, lie down. Lie down.
So the last question I was going to ask you, if I may,
Go on.
is personally, I don't think there's any need for children's services to be involved, but that's my question really. Are there any
then
specific?
Why do they keep getting involved?
Are there any specific? No, we're involved. If somebody makes a referral, it should really, in my view, this referral should probably not have gone through to us, But it has.
But there was loads of other stuff on there as well.
Yeah, but having gone through nothing major, having gone through, so I'll just check with you. I thought let you know, and then check with you if there are any services you require. But I don't think there are, quite frankly.
Yeah, there are. But it's things like high impact family have come back in our lives again. I've took Morgan James out of school.
Yeah. So you've got high impact,
High impact families come back out again, and I told him straight he's not going to mainstream school, because over the last 5 years while he's been at Bourneville, I've tried to get him an SEN, and they've not been doing it.
Who's working with high impact now?
Kelly and Kerry.
Oh, Kelly, Kelly Quist,
But the ones that came out last time, what was the name, Colette and Zasha, they made me 1,000,000 times worse, because they told me to move over to ESA. And then just left me in it. Honestly.
To be honest though, if HIF are involved anyway, but there's no. That would be what we do. In the worst case scenario, we basically refer to high impact families. That's all we do. That is what we do.
So you don't snatch kids anymore.
No, we only do that if parents if children are at risk of significant harm and parents are not capable of looking after them.
What is voluntary care?
Sorry?
What is voluntary care?
Voluntary care is when parents,
very
often when parents aren't capable of looking after their children, but they agree to children going into accommodation. Okay, so it's not something we use very frequently. We use it. It's a very scarce resource, and it's used where children, for example, one recently, which is now a care order, where mum was Mum was really not capable of looking after the child, but she agreed to the child going into care. Eventually went into care proceedings, and now the child is not.
But it's not care though, is it? It's looked after.
It's all looked after.
It's all looked after.
Yeah, yeah. If a child
then
goes,
how did I keep my full parental responsibility over Liam?
Sorry.
How did I keep my full parental responsibility?
You would keep your parental responsibility unless the child's adopted. If the child's adopted, you lose all parental rights. Yeah. But if a child is looked after in either accommodated, yeah.
I've got to let her go.
Either accommodated, yeah, but surely either accommodated or subject to a care order or something, yeah. In both of those cases, a parent shares parental responsibility.
I didn't share it. I kept it.
Yeah, but if there's a care order, yeah, you would retain it. You would retain parental responsibility.
Yeah, but they used that against me because every time Liam was pushed and pushed, and he was frustrated and confused. He shouldn't have been in care. That's it, full stop. But each time he wanted to phone me or something, and they ended up stopping the call, preventing him from letting me know what was going on and stuff. His behaviour would escalate. He'd end up doing something like, I don't know, throwing the bloody phone or something, which ended up breaking. Then he was done for criminal damage and arrested. And then I'd be phoned up to go and get him out on bail, to take him back to the property, because the social workers didn't have the rights to go and get him out on bail, yet they were pushing him, and escalating his behaviour and my frustration and agony. And he ended up having a massive list of convictions against him at the age of 15. And then he was kicked out of care at the age of 16 into a 2-bedroom masonette that he was ready to jump off, to kill himself, because that key worker that he was having a sexual relationship with cried rape on him, and she ended up getting away with it. How did all that happen?
Today, though, to be honest with you, that's too deep. I couldn't go into the whole story. I'd be here all day. Probably wouldn't even finish the conversation then. Yeah, I doubt it. It's probably quite, because I know.
But this is my case.
I know that your situation, your personal situation here. You've been through masses of stuff. Yeah, and you were kind enough to share that with me before. Yeah.
Yeah.
You've been through some serious stuff, and I remember that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Today though, really, is just about a particular referral, which to me doesn't really matter who it means, and that's it.
But how come I've already had them 2 people phone me before about this? Because the first person, and I know she went off on on leave for being maternity leave, and I can't remember her name, Charlotte, I can't remember, but I recorded that as well, because she phoned me and she says that she would back me with arranging a multi-professional meeting that I wanted to hold. And then sometime later there was someone else that came, I think her name was Summit King, I think. And she phoned me and says, we've had a referral. And I says, hang on a minute, I've already had a phone call about this. Because everything was saying about, because the concern itself wasn't just about that video, it was about me sitting in the caravan all day smoking weed, me being an alcoholic, me being this, that and the other, all rubbish, which is fabrications. It's defaming me as my character. So how come this person can keep being anonymous and create so much trouble, Jim? But until someone like social services in exceptional circumstances and the school in exceptional circumstances take a hold of this and try and pin this person down, then this person's got me going round in circles, because people like yourself calling me, or me having to go to the council, or me having to do this, that and the other, is what's keeping me stuck to the spot in this lifelong complex trauma.
I would have, earlier on, yeah, if you just said to me, if actually I would have stopped relatively, if somebody says to me, I'm recording the conversation, without even thinking, so reflexively, if I'm honest with you, I'll just go, oh, no, that's it, stop. But I drove over here and then you said I'm recording the conversation, and I thought, well, it's not really that serious, so yes, it's okay. Okay, that's all right. So that's basically the position as far as I'm concerned here.
Who is this person?
Sorry?
Who is this person?
If you phone somebody up, if you phoned up the local authority and said, I'm worried about that, I don't want my name used.
I said that to the police. I said that to the police back in February, when next door had moved in, and she'd already told me she'd come out of an abusive relationship. It took her a long time to get the house, right? I thought, well, if anything comes of it, you know, she's obviously felt the need to tell me that, not a problem. And I heard that first week here, how a leather was going on next door, and a kid was crying. I did not want to get involved in that, because I know from my own personal life experiences how two people that get together that are dysfunctional like that and toxic just roar at each other, and kids are in the crossfire. And that's why I ended up bloody fleeing anyway in the first place, because that had been lifelong. That was the pattern I was in and could not get out of. Now luckily I'm not in that pattern anymore, and luckily things like that video is me turning my son around to a degree by it where at least we can laugh about swearing, because previous to that, the way that my son's mind worked was that to be nasty and everything else, which he still does. I hear him upstairs. Him and whoever he's speaking to upstairs, they're as bad as each other. You know, they come out with all these names of work, but he's not in the street doing it. He's not retaliating with the bullies in the street. So he is isolated in this spot, and he is allowed to express himself. But that particular video was us having a laugh and a joke. Now you speak to my older kids, and you speak to people like next door, who absolutely raved into me for 15 minutes about how I'm disgusting and vile, and look at what you're wearing, and you're a fucking disgusting mother, and your son's got autism, and you on YouTube doing you fat bastard, very clever, Karen, very clever. When I live here, it's wrong, John. They've got the wrong end of the stick. Jim, they've got the wrong end of the stick. And that is getting me a bad name, because I go out of the house less and less.
I listen to you, and I'm only just friendly advice if you like. I wouldn't personally put anything with my son on in those circumstances that would have anything to do with them that they could access in any way. No way. As far as I'm concerned, you know, if neighbours who you're telling me historically have caused you problems, I'm not giving them any information or sharing anything about my son with not happening, you know. So I mean, I just wouldn't give them any opportunity.
It's more the other way round, because what has been seen is what people want to see. They want to see, and they want to use that.
I take your point with
they want to use that.
People are turning things against you.
And that's not the case.
They could have just said, "Oh, it's just a laugh," or they could have even said, "Oh, that's a bit silly," or something like that, rather than making a big.
But they've made a massive issue, and this is my neighbour. And after everything that's gone on, with the amount of times the police have been, Jim, I'm not even joking. She didn't even hold back. And how I managed to stay, I don't know how I did it, but it was a miracle. I managed to stay in my mind frame set, calm, controlled, aware, absolutely mindful of everything every tactic that she was using against me. She was telling me to stand up to me then, Karen. I'm like, why would I want to stand up to you? Go on, stand up to me. I said, so now you're goading me.
Some people like that,
I was like, now you're goading me. Oh, goading you? I'll put you on the fucking floor right now. So now you're threatening me. You know, for me to be able to not dissociate is an absolute miracle, because lifelong my complex trauma has been dissociation, because since me being that small, I've had people screaming in my face like she was, and I've never been able to come out of that. As I've got bigger and bigger and bigger and older, my relationships have stayed the same, because I never was allowed that opportunity for my head to process things and to be able to get on that next level and grow and understand it and be able to learn, because I never learned. It was abuse upon abuse upon abuse. And for my neighbours to speak to me how she did, that is a bit like the icing and cherry on top of the cake for me, to be able to stay in that moment. Now when the police came out, she went, well, from what I can hear, you're both arguing in the street. I'm like, if you think that's arguing, you're off your head, because there's nothing two-way about that.
It's one person.
It's one person, and I have the ability, thank God, to overcome my disability in that particular time frame when my head is being bashed with all this stuff, and to be able to not retaliate and to be able to not run and hide is amazing. And she didn't like that, so she was escalating and escalating and escalating, because she wasn't denting me. That's massive. For me as a person with lifelong complex trauma, to be able to do that, Jim, can't be not acknowledged.
That's good.
But who do I go to with that? Because the police have come out and thought they were out for bins. I was like, if you think you've come out because I've raised a concern about missing bins, you're off your head. You really need to go and sort her out. Can you send me the video? Can you send me the recording? I'll listen to it properly. I says, but you don't understand that this ties up with so much other stuff, because there hasn't been a gap in domestic abuse in my life until I moved to Weston-super-Mare. And for some people like this person, this Samantha Wilkinson, this Stephanie Waite, telling people like my own kids, oh, she's moved to the sea, she moved down there and popped a 2-bedroom house and this, that and the other, for my kids to also then jump on her bandwagon, retaliating against me, causing me all the names under the sun, telling me to drop dead.
Yeah, so Stephanie Waite.
Stephanie Waite. And Samantha Wilkinson. There's also been other names.
Yeah, I've got to go now, yeah. But
okay.
I just thought that come by and just let you know, just that you're aware and stuff. Yeah. But I didn't. I'm sorry if I've come around and kind of raised your sort of annoyance or something. Yeah. And I thought, well, actually I had.
Once upon a time, Jim, the word excited was used against me. Apparently I was excited, and no, I was just very passionate in making sure that these social workers got what I was trying to say, but because I used to get my words tongue-tied and everything else, that was a massive problem for me, and things like that went on in report. Excitement, Jim, I must admit, I sat at the back door and thought, oh really, okay, you don't want recording, you're coming to my house. I am going to record this because I'm a person, and the word excitement, yeah, I had a tinge of it.
You express yourself very well, Karen.
Thank you.
You do. Thank you for your time. Take it easy. Yeah, it's nice to see you again. I got a feeling I saw you at the Healthy Living Centre once. You know when you see people out of.
No, you did say hello.
Oh,
you did say hello.
That's all right.
Yeah, no, you did.
I kind of thought. I think I might have said hello. And I think you see people out of.
Jim, I haven't said a bad word about you ever.
No,
you're one of the nicest men I've met as a social worker goes.
I'm sure. Yeah, it's nice to see you. I was going to say sometimes when you see people out of context, you think I know that person. I'm going to say hello to them.
No, you said hello and you remembered my name. Do you know what? I was trying to set up. I know you've got to go.
That's right.
I was trying to set up a group for colouring for like mums and things like that to get together, just so that it was just chill out.
Yeah.
And then I was hoping to put more and more groups together, like, I don't know, going and screaming from hilltops and things like that, scream therapy sort of thing, just as a laugh and joke. But you know, it actually works. But they offered me £60 because the last colouring club, they gave £60, so they thought that was ample, and it was like, nah, you're off your head. I ain't talking about scratchy felt pens or gritty colouring pencils. I'm talking about like good stuff. 60 quid ain't gonna cover that, so I didn't bother.
No.
But the manager's quite a nice man, isn't he? There.
Oh, Mark, yeah, he is, yeah.
Yeah, I got
I think the place is really well used as well, isn't it? Every time you go there are kids in the library, there are people singing and doing exercises, and I think the building's well used. I give him credit for that.
Yeah, the doctor's then.
I don't know that side. I don't know that side of it at all. I don't know that side of it at all. But the other bit is very well used. All the rooms are used, and the halls.
Yeah,
the cafe's well used. Thank you, Karen. Where's young Morgan?
In bed.
Is he?
Yeah, he's got his days and nights mixed up.
Is he?
Yeah, totally. It's no surprise, Jim, this time last year he was doing everything. He was doing something after school every day. And I knew it was backing off and backing off and backing off. And Junction 21 have only very recently been coming out to try and meet him. And he's like, you know what, Mum, fuck 'em. They've took a year. And he knows, because of all the shit he's had with the neighbours out the front, he doesn't go out the front because he's, you know, he's had that much crap, and each of them groups, each time something happened there, that was it. He put the blocker on it. He didn't want to go. So, you know, everything that he was doing this time last year, something after school every single day, doesn't do a damn thing. Sits on his PlayStation, he's isolated, and this is exactly why.
Where's he due to go in September then? What's the plan?
Well, he's supposed to be going to World, but had it been a case by where the school had listened to me. Now, Mr. Matthews, I think he's brilliant. Adam, he is brilliant, and I know he's there and he does his best for the kids, because otherwise he wouldn't be there. He'd be going and getting a much better paid position elsewhere. Yeah. But it wasn't until Christmas that I finally got the school to listen by going in and saying, look, it's not me asking anymore, it's CAMS. There you go. I'd managed to get into CAMS and had used all my terminology that I've used through all my courses to be able to have a two-way conversation with the bloke, the paediatric CAMS, without Morgan James knowing a single thing of what I was saying. Because there was no way I was having that used against me. Oh, she started talking about this and all that must have made him feel really blah. No way. Nobody's using that against me. So I sat in there and had a two-way conversation with this bloke, and he says, right, let's get the ball rolling. There's your forms to fill in from home, which were actually classroom-based questions, but I tried to do it as best I could from home. And then there was another load of forms, and I took them into the school and says, right, it's not me asking you anymore. I've been asking now for 5 years. Here's the forms, because you already know my concerns are that he's not going to be ready for senior school. Now at that time I didn't realise what goes on in senior school. Since then I've been in a work placement in SEN in a different school, and I've also done my my uni course to the point by where I've said, you know what, I know enough now. Yes, damn straight I'm on the wrong course, because if you think for 1 minute that I am going to continue to learn while I'm getting support to learn, how to support to learn kids that aren't even on the SEN, so that you get your numbers, so that mental health get their numbers up for when them kids leave senior school, you're having a chuckle, because I'm not doing it. So I've already told uni, no chance. You want me to, if you're not allowing me to put my assignments together with what I know, the knowledge I've got, and then find backing, and instead I can only use journals by where those journals have been used because they've already been accepted by the curriculum targets in university and accept and pass. Oh yeah, we've got a good one here. Oh yeah, she does everything she's supposed to do. Oh good, well we'll get her to master level and give her a top. No, because my passion runs a lot deeper than that. And I said to him, no chance in the world, because I cannot pull information from all them journals into one assignment to get a tick on my name when I don't agree with any of that. It's all bullshit. So the university know exactly how I feel about that. And with that in mind, it got me realising that him going to senior school is actually going to be a problem, because it wasn't just a problem for me, it was a problem for my older 3 children. There's no way I'm going down the same path. Had he have had an SEN, I know all the names have changed now, but had he have been assessed, he wouldn't have been in that mainstream school. He would have been getting a different type of education, because he needs educating Jim. He can't be sitting on a PlayStation all day, every day. He needs education, but he doesn't need the kind of education where he's sitting in a senior school, getting 5 different lessons in a day, an hour at a time, that's bam, 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 into his head, because he's got a very clear head, he's got a very good mind, but what he needs is life skills, what he needs is social skills. He needs all that, which is a different kind of school altogether.
How long was he off then, at the end of last term?
Well, I booked us a holiday because I'd had my loan come through, my maintenance loan from uni, and I thought, you know what, we're going on holiday, fuck it. So I booked the holiday, and he came home, and my head doesn't work like that with figures and remembering things. But I booked it, and he come home and he says, Mum, don't forget, I've got SATs next week, 4 days. And I'm like, shit, so I've booked the holiday, what am I going to do? And I thought, you know what, no, this has come at the right time actually, I'm going to keep it, stuff it, we're going on holiday. So he went, I didn't tell him, he went and done his SATs on the Monday and Tuesday, and he should have been going back on the Wednesday and Thursday. Well, I picked him up from school on the Tuesday, and he says, I've got maths tomorrow, Mum. How do you do with your English? Yeah, it did alright, I think, Mum. Right, not a problem. He says, I've got maths tomorrow. You know, we're on a plane in 3 hours' time. And he was like, what? We're going to Turkey. So I came back. The school came, they're great, ain't they? The amount of times that I've struggled to get into school in the morning, bloody hell, SATs, they came out, we'd come back off holiday and we were in bed, bang, bang, bang at the door. I came down and they says, we need to get Morgan James into school, we can take him with us now, we need to do his SATs. No, I haven't done it, no, we're asleep. We've just come back from a really exciting 1 week away in Turkey doing all sorts, and now it's sleep time. We need to recharge our batteries. We can come out and get it. We can come out and get him again this afternoon. Can you indeed? So I went back to bed and I heard them hammering at the door. They gave that door about 5 hammerings. They weren't going anywhere. I weren't getting out of bed. Simple. We were asleep. So after that, I started getting a lot of calls from the school. Started getting a lot of calls from the school and that, saying, you know, we can come and get him. He needs to do his SATs. No, forget it. I says, and I'll tell you something else now as well. I says, now I've had time to think about it, he ain't coming back. Because between now and then, that was May. So he's been out of school a while. But it's took him this long, Jim, for him to get, well, they've got high impact families back out. But my point is, he does need education. He does, yeah. But if they think that I'm going to drag him out of bed every single morning for the next five years, they're off their head. And if social services want to come out and take him off my hands, I'll go, not a problem then. You're dreaming.
Sharon,
you're dreaming, because you know that ain't going to happen. You know that ain't going to happen. Someone needs to do something somewhere.
It's nice to see you, Karen, okay? Take it easy.
Thank you. Take care, Jim.
Yeah, good on you.
Thanks. I ain't giving up. See you later. That's it then. happens to something when you've got to even hide your bloody phone. Got a recorder on in my hand, recording it, and then I've got a phone recording it just in case my recorder's snatched off me. Is that paranoia or what? No, it's not paranoia, it's being fucking hyper-vigilant, and it's making damn sure that there's no little holes in that net by where it can be not only turned against you, but ripped away from you. Ah, good on you, Karen. That was his words. Yeah, damn straight, good on me.